Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kevin Smith, and I'm the CEO at University Health Network, and it is a real pleasure for me to welcome you here today with so many wonderful colleagues. On behalf of UHN and our chair, Dean Connor, who sadly couldn't be with us today, it really is a pleasure to have all of you here at Toronto Rehab Bickle Centre, and again, right next door to Dunn House, something we'll be talking about today. This is a very exciting day for all of us, and of course for all of our partners. Many of us were together at Dunn House not so long ago, just over a year ago, for that important opening. And it is a real honor for us to be back here together today for what I know is a very exciting announcement. It's my pleasure to also begin by welcoming a number of our distinguished guests and representatives from all levels of government. The Honourable Gregor Robertson, Minister, welcome. Federal Minister of Housing and Infrastructure and Minister responsible for Pacific Economic Development Canada. Our dear old friend from many lives incarnate, most recently as the MP of this riding, Karim Bardeesy, Parliamentary Secretary to the Ministry of Industry and the Member of Parliament for Tea'akan. I think I got that almost right, Karim. The riding also Tea'akan, Parkdale High Park. The Honourable Rob Flack, Ontario's Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Her Worship Mayor Olivia Chow, Mayor of our great city, the City of Toronto, and of course our longtime collaborator in many forms and now the Chief Executive Officer of Build Canada, Ms. Anna Bailau. Welcome back to all of you. I also want to recognize a couple of our key members of the board, the Honourable Elizabeth Dowdeswell, former Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, and Mr. Lawrence Pentland. And I particularly want to acknowledge the board today because this project actually was a genesis of the board. And many people, when we started talking about housing, asked, like, what's a big complex hospital who does transplant and cancer and cardiac and all these big, crazy, sexy, scary things doing in housing? And really it was the board who said, for many, many years we've recognized that the basis of good health is founded in housing and the determinants of health. And if not us, who? So a real tribute to our board for recognizing this, embracing this, and demonstrating that not only can this happen, but that leaders and systems need to make these things happen and then help them to grow. So thank you to the board for that. I also particularly want to acknowledge Ms. Emmanuelle Gattuso for her early belief in social medicine. Ms. Gattuso, welcome. I'm really pleased you could be here today. It really was Ms. Gattuso's interest, I think sparked out of an article that ran not so long ago about the importance of housing and the impact of housing. And Madame Gattuso and her foundation, La Fondation Emmanuelle Gattuso, steadfastly came to light and came to the table and called us up. That is, for Julie Quenville of our foundation, it is very unusual actually to have donors call us up as opposed for us to chase you down. And I want to really say a very sincere thank you for not only your commitment, your investment, but your personal time, which I know this has been a labor of love for you, your foundation, and your partners. And very, very sincere thanks to Madame Gattuso for that. Also, they weren't able to be with us, but 3 other donor families who've just been remarkable in supporting this initiative. The Rooney family, Richard and Laura, Juliana Sprott, and Ed Kress and the Kress family want to recognize their remarkable contributions. And of course, our foundation, that all that government does at every level, we are always grateful for. But thanks to the UHN Foundation and the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation, UHN is able to make investments at almost $250 million a year, thanks to the generosity of the donors of those 2 foundations. So a sincere thank you to our foundations as well. I also want to recognize the people at UHN and beyond who have made this happen. My colleague, Dr. Andrew Buzari, the Executive Director of the Gattuso Center for Social Medicine, and the whole social medicine team. If you're a social medicine team member, wave and smile and yell. Hear, hear, hear. Rebecca Ripa, who's here with us today, who leads our clinical performance planning and our building team. And there's always a lot of building going on at University Health Network. And if it wasn't for Rebecca and the FM Pro team, neither Dunhouse, Carrie's here as well, nor any of the other initiatives that occur would happen. Physical plant and infrastructure really matter. So thank you to you, Carrie, Rebecca, and the whole FM Pro team. To Marnie Escav, our clinical vice president, who has stewarded this program along with Dr. Buzari. Marnie, thank you to you and the entire collective team that you've put together to make sure that this happens, and of course with our partners and operators. And Mark Toppings, what successful initiative would occur without lawyers? Our chief legal officer. And when it's three levels of government, there's a lot of lawyers, and we still got here, thanks to Mark making things easy with his colleagues at those organizations. So I want to thank you very, very much. Just before turning this over to the Parliamentary Secretary, I want to give a special comment to recognize Andrew Buzari. So I've been fortunate to work with Andrew before my time coming to University Health Network and subsequently during my tenure at UHN. And was very fortunate with my colleagues to attract Dr. Buzari with his expertise, his passion, his resolute commitment to those who are less fortunate than many, and his unwavering advocacy for those most at risk in our society. It is all of our jobs to build a civil society, and UHN could not be luckier than having Andrew in this leadership role. So Dr. Buzari, thank you. At UHN, we have both the privilege and challenge of caring for some of the most complex patients in our nation. Over time, it's become increasingly clear. Healthcare does not begin or end at our doors. It happens in our communities, in our hockey rinks, in our malls, in every home. For many patients, particularly those facing homelessness or housing insecurity, the absence of stable housing is one of their most significant barriers to better health, not only for themselves, but also for their families. That recognition and the work of the team I've just described led the City of Toronto, the United Way of Greater Toronto, and the University Health Network to come together in 2019 to do something fundamentally different, to use hospital land to deliver affordable housing with integrated health and social supports grounded in the Gattuso social medicine model. The result was Dunhouse. When Dunhouse opened in 2024, it became Canada's first social medicine supportive housing model, fully integrated into a healthcare system and designed specifically for patients with the highest utilization of hospital services due to the complex medical and social needs. Some early results, which make this very important: a 52% reduction in emergency department visits for the residents of Dunhouse, 52%. A 79% reduction in hospital bed days, the number of bed days those residents spend in a hospital, making them available for other patients. That translates into an estimated $2.1 million in annual healthcare savings that can now be deployed to other patients who, as we know, are frequently waiting longer than we wish in our emergency rooms. It also has seen improved health, greater stability, and unquestionably a better quality of life for residents. Building on that success brings us here today. Today's announcement reflects a shared commitment to address the intrinsic relationship between housing and health, and to scaling solutions that improve our healthcare system, address housing crises, and address building a more civil society and a wonderful, vibrant city. It's now my pleasure to call upon a fantastic partner, a supporter of UHN and the University Parkdale community, Karim Bardeesy, Parliamentary Secretary for the Minister of Industry and Member of Parliament for Tekarana, High Park, Parkdale, and to deliver the land acknowledgement and serve as our Master of Ceremonies. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Welcome everyone to UHN, to Parkdale for this historic announcement. We are here today on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people. And this area is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. I want to also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. We're here in Parkdale, an area that I have the privilege to represent as the Member of Parliament, and Alexa Gilmore, who's here today, has the privilege to represent as the Member of Provincial Parliament, and the Gord Perks City Councillor has the privilege of representing as City Councillor. And this is a very special place. This area was first in its own village within the City of Toronto. It was a country retreat. But for decades, it's been the home for waves of people coming from all over the world to find community and opportunity. Some of them fled communism or oppression in their home countries. Some left or were forced out of the places where they received care and support. But they found that care and support here, in Parkdale. And they continue to find it here because of the spirit of this neighborhood, of the people here, the people and institutions who surround them, the people who create our culture, who care for our most vulnerable, who come up with the innovations, including the policy innovations that Dr. Smith spoke about, that make lives better. People like LP Pavey and the staff at UHN and the partner institutions at Dunhouse, people like Jason Miles and some of the residents of Dunhouse who are here with us today. And today we're building on that spirit and those foundations with a major new step to welcome and provide healthcare and housing for more people in this beautiful corner of West Toronto. And we have a champion of that kind of community building and that kind of support in this kind of approach to housing and healthcare in the person of the Honourable Gregor Robertson, someone who I've had the privilege of help welcome to Dunhouse, someone to whom I've talked many times about this project, and he's not the only one whose ear has been bent about this project, and the next project that he's going to be announcing next. He's a champion of inclusive housing, he's a champion of community, he's a champion of the approach here that we are hoping to spread far and wide across the country. He's Minister of Housing and Infrastructure and Communities, and the Minister responsible for Pacific Economic Development, and I'll welcome him up here now to make this announcement.
Thank you very much, Karim. It's great to be here in your community and in many of your community. It's an honor to be here as your minister on the federal front here today, and appreciate the introduction. Really appreciate being here with my fellow leaders, Minister Flack and Mayor Chow, the teams here from UHN. It's a big team here from UHN. Thanks for hosting us here, as well as United Way Greater Toronto and the Fred Victor teams. And many of you, really appreciate you dedicating the time to honor this next big step forward that we take together. Beaucoup trop de Canadiens ont du mal à trouver un logement affordable. Affordable housing is an enormous challenge across our country right now, and solving our housing crisis requires bold action. Action that brings down the cost, that cuts the red tape and the barriers that are in the way, that accelerates the pace of construction and getting people into homes that are safe and secure. Bold action also means embracing and investing innovative solutions that work both in the short term for a crisis that we have with far too many people that are homeless in our cities and towns, but also for the long term, and make sure that stability is paramount. That's really at the core of why we launched Build Canada Homes. We're honored to have the CEO, the leader of Build Canada Homes here, Anna Bailau, and an amazing team that's being built with lots of Toronto firepower. So thanks to the city for being part of helping us launch it. We launched Build Canada Homes as a new federal agency that is a one-stop shop for affordable housing, that is designed to build and finance affordable housing at scale, while also supercharging a more productive home building industry across Canada. Affordable housing, as we all know here, is essential for health. It's essential for safety. It's critical for dignity. And it eases the pressure on our hospitals, on our shelters, other services, social services. It makes it possible for people to stabilize, work, and rebuild their lives when they need it the most. I was really grateful to visit Dunhouse, hosted by Karim and Jason, and the whole team at Dunhouse last summer. great to hear the stories, to hear the difference that it's made in so many lives. Talk with Dr. Bouzary and the staff, the team that has really developed these best practices, best in class for Canada, and hear the challenges and successes. It's definitely not easy, but the team has built a model here that is remarkable, and that's why we're here today to do more. We don't solve the challenges of chronic homelessness overnight. It has been many, many years of gearing up to solve homelessness across Canada, and we're not even close to being there yet. We've got a lot more work to do. The investments in supportive housing are absolutely critical for helping people who are living rough, who are in shelters and tent camps, who need a safe place to call home. And it's more than just moving people out of those encampments off the streets. It's about building healthy and strong communities. It's giving people a chance to fully and productively participate. And that's where Dunhouse has been so successful. We know that supportive and transitional housing requires long-term partnerships. The operational funding for that is a critical element of that. And Ontario's commitment, led by Minister Flack and his team, is really essential to that. The partnership on the capital side that the Government of Canada and City of Toronto are stepping up with is this three-way combination, and the partnership with the community is really what it takes to deliver at this scale. And it's a model for other communities across Canada. This is something that we need to happen across Canada in so many cities and towns. So Build Canada Homes, we have this as one of our core next steps, is to scale up this work. We need to make it simpler, faster to get these projects off the ground. We need to help thousands and thousands of people across Canada find safe, affordable homes. Just last month I was in Nova Scotia announcing a collaboration that Anna and the team at Build Canada Homes helped build with Nova Scotia, with the province. That's over 1,400 homes, including supportive, affordable rental and community housing units with the province. That's the first of those combinations to be announced with the province, and very significant scale for the province of Nova Scotia. À travers le pays, on reconnaît le défi auquel font face de nombreux Canadiens pour trouver un logement. Votre nouveau gouvernement fédéral prend action, which is why today I am very proud to announce that Build Canada Homes is investing $21 million for Dunhouse Phase 2, which will create 54 homes. All right, you got to save some of that applause for all the rest of these people, all the rest of the partners. 54 new supportive homes for people at risk of homelessness here in Toronto. And this project, as it should, will also use innovative construction methods. I'm guessing Anna's going to talk about this some. Using modular construction means saving on costs, speeding up the build time. Modern methods of construction like this are going to help us all over Canada build faster, smarter, more affordably. And we are building that momentum across the country right now, bolstered by success here, by the partnership that's come together here. This is what we can share across the country now. We need to build that affordable housing for the most vulnerable. Nous devons rester concentrés à tous les niveaux de gouvernement avec nos partenaires locaux afin de continuer à fournir ce type de logement. I want to thank everyone involved here from the bottom of my heart. It was a really important part of my time serving as mayor in the city of Vancouver. To get supportive housing open was the biggest win we could have for our community, frankly, and we need to do a lot more of it. So congratulations and thank you to all the partners and members of the community who will make this real and make this successful. Together we are tackling this housing crisis and building a future where every Canadian has a place to live. Thank you and merci.
Thank you, Minister Robertson. Thank you for championing this and moving things fast so that we could get this done and have this announcement today. J'aimerais maintenant, c'est pas possible de faire ce travail sans les partenaires. You can't do this work without partners, and so I'm very pleased to invite the Honourable Rob Flack, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, to provide remarks on behalf of the Province of Ontario.
Well, thank you all for being here. I guess let me start off by saying it's great to be in Parkdale. Didn't realize there was. I'm from southwestern Ontario, but what I get a kick out of, we've got our MPP here as well. My father was born in Parkdale 94 years ago. He's still with us and not doing so well this week, but I'll see him tomorrow. But I'm going to tell him about being in his neck of the woods. And he's just born actually a couple of streets when I was taking a look there away from here, in his house. So a unique time, so glad to be here. Karim, you're doing a great job. I wish I had hair like you, but we'll talk about it another time. It's great to be alongside Minister Robertson, Prime here today, Anna Baila, who's doing a great job, Mayor Chow, for this important announcement. Your Honour, great to see you here as well too. We miss you at the legislature and our talks, so it's great to be here. Today shows what is possible when all levels of government come together to support our most vulnerable residents. Thank you to the staff. I will say in the last 3 days I've been at a conference, the ROMA conference, Rural Ontario Municipal Association. They came to Toronto to have a conference they do every year. 1,200 delegates, 650 different delegations that our ministry hosted to listen and learn. And I can say that of the 26 or 7 I took personally, homelessness and infrastructure were the 2 key issues. That's in rural Ontario. Homelessness is not just a big city problem, it's a pan-Canadian problem, including rural Ontario, and we heard that message loud and clear. Too often we hear of people going out of homelessness because at the end of the day, they lack the supports. Dunn House Phase 2 addresses this by going beyond Band-Aid solutions, integrating primary health care, mental health reduction, supports, community services. It's a combination to make a real difference to the people suffering from untreated mental health, mental illness, substance abuse, and the like. They need a hand, a helping hand, to turn their lives around, and this is an initiative we are delivering, supporting that need. We know how impactful it will be because of the incredible results we've seen at Dunn House 1. Now, Dunn House 2. This is great. The Ontario government is proud to be partnering with the federal government and with the City of Toronto. We're committing $2.6 million annually to support the ongoing operating costs of this venture for critical housing units. Funding will start, thank you. Funding will start as soon as you get the place built, obviously, so hurry up and build it. Preventing and alleviating homelessness. It's the challenge of our day. Our government has consistently been making record investments, along with the City of Toronto, along with the federal government, to prevent and alleviate homelessness. When we were re-elected last winter, it was a promise to protect Ontario. And in that promise, we're protecting Ontario's most vulnerable, and that is at the heart of the efforts we bring in every day, like here. That is why, since the start of this mandate, we have allocated nearly $1.7 billion to grow and enhance community and supportive housing. It's crucial to our ongoing success as a province, as a city, mayor, as our province, and as our country. That allocation includes close to $700 million for homelessness prevention, up 40% since 2023. And championing innovative construction. Minister Robertson and I talk about that a lot. We also continue to advance innovative construction methods to get homes built faster, to get shovels in the ground faster. That's why Minister Fideli and Minister Bethenfalvey, through our last budget, have committed $50 million to Invest Ontario to grow the province's industrial capacity under modular or panelized construction, which has played a key role in getting projects like 355 Coxwell, Mayor, who you and I were there, and now Dunn House 2 off the ground. And I can assure there'll be more changes to come that drive up speed and affordability without sacrificing quality and safety. This is an innovative way to build homes. In conclusion, Dunn House is a prime example of what can be accomplished when all levels of government come together. Minister, you said it, this is a three-way deal, along with the fourth being you, the community. We need more success stories like this. I know on behalf of Premier Ford, we're very proud to support it. It was not hard to get passed in Treasury Board, I can tell you that, or Cabinet. It was a very quick decision. And so again, I want to thank everyone here today for their time, for their talent. That stewardship is very important when we look at homelessness and supportive housing. We'll continue to be there for you. Thank you for your time and attention.
So in UHN, you're going to hear more from UHN in a moment. You've got a key program partner. You've got the land, federal government, dollars to build, province with programming funding. But you can't do this without a strong municipal partner that is bringing both dollars and the energy and the force to get this project going so we can have shovels in the ground this year. And to talk about that, I'm very honored to be welcoming back to Parkdale and Tyacon Parkdale High Park, Her Worship the Mayor of Toronto, Olivia Chow.
Good afternoon. Thank you to Gregor Robertson, Minister, my friend MP Karim Bardeesy, and Minister Rob Flack, Build Canada Home CEO, Anna Bailel, and the visionary leaders from the University Health Network, President and CEO, Dr. Kevin Smith, and Create TO. I know you are here, CEO Vic Gupta, who is actually going to work with the Toronto team to get something built here. Yeah. But before I go there, let me tell excuse me. Let me tell you about Jason. For 6 years, Jason lived on the street, in and out of jail, trapped by addiction, so full of despair that he tried to end his life. Thank God he survived. And thank God, yes, thank God you survived. And thank God for the housing worker who never gave up on him. That worker helped Jason find Dunn House. Not just a bed, but a home, a place where he found stability, medical care, social support, where he learned to cook and to garden. Picture this. A man who spent years just trying to survive on the street, now finding joy watching cucumbers and tomatoes grow. Last fall, Jason told me with a huge smile and said, Mayor, I harvested over 100 cucumbers and gave them all away to my neighbors and my friends. Wow. I got so excited here, excuse me. Yeah. Yes, he gave it all away and shared it. But that pride in his voice, that transformation, all because of a building and its people and its service. When we opened Dunn House with Dr. Smith and Dr. Boussauri and many of you here, we made a promise, build more of these houses. Because this is the model that breaks the cycle of homelessness, sickness, and despair. This is where hope lives. And today, just 15 months later, we are delivering on that promise. Phase 2 will create 54 more homes for people like Jason. The city is joining the federal and the provincial government. We're putting in $10.2 million, and we are going to put our muscles in, and we'll get it built as quickly as we can. Yeah, we will do it together. Together, we're delivering what works. Permanent homes with the health care and the support that help people rebuild their lives. But the City of Toronto is not stopping here. We are preventing homelessness before it starts. When a mother falls behind on rent after a medical emergency or job loss, the City of Toronto stepped in with rent subsidies. Last week, inspired by Dr. Basuri's $1 million rent support initiative, we added our $2.6 million to our rent bank, bringing it to a total of $10.6 million. Nearly, yes, it's great. Nearly double what it was when I took office. And through Rent Bank, eviction prevention in communities, and the Canada-Ontario housing benefits, both of other levels of government together, we're helping 9,000 people stay housed. And on top of that, we are sending lawyers and support workers to fight illegal rent increase. We established a rent eviction bylaw to stop illegal evictions, and we're building. Right now, 7 out of 10 construction cranes in Toronto are on projects we are leading or supporting. And this year alone, we are going to break ground on 28,600 rental homes, almost a third of them, which is 10,000 of them, deeply affordable. We are doing it by waiving $460 million in development charges so that it is the built, yes, shovel in the ground. Yes, I thought you might like the development charges, yes. We are cutting zoning approval times by 80%. The person in charge of making that cut is now going to be working with our federal counterpart. She did the hard work in Toronto, and she is now saying that let us make even more things happen. But I digress. We've allowed multiplexes and garden suite across the city. And you can see it. Construction sites across Toronto, people working, real progress. Together with our federal and provincial partners, we will build more affordable housing faster. And thank you for believing that every person deserves what Jason found at Dunn House: a home, hope, and a chance to grow. Thank you so much, and back to you, and let us get that building built and build a lot more in the days and months to come. Thank you.
Someone who has worked to take the federal government commitment and make it real with excellence and speed is our next speaker. I'd like to welcome to the stage someone who has so much expertise in this area and is working so hard and so fast with Minister Robertson and the department. Annabelle Lau, Chief Executive Officer of Build Canada Homes. Come on up.
Thank you so much. I have some very formal notes in here, but I have to be honest with you that after looking around and after hearing everybody speak, it reminded me actually why we are here. First and foremost is not about the bricks and mortar, it's about the modern methods of construction. At the end of the day, and thank you, Mayor, for reminding us, it's about people. It's about Jason. It's about lives that we are assisting and making better. That's why we're here. And then I remembered when we first signed the MOU with the City of Toronto. And I remembered when we did the groundbreaking here, to be honest with you, and I was so taken back by something that Kevin said, which was, he gave us all the numbers, and then he said, it's time to start prescribing housing. We need to prescribe housing. And that stuck with me until today. And when I was made CEO of Build Canada Homes with a very clear mandate to scale up supportive housing, scale up affordable housing, especially non-market, and while being a catalyst for non-market. There was one project that came to mind, and especially when the minister and the prime minister said, Anna, right away, $1 billion needs to be to address the homelessness in our country. And one project came to mind. And then we walk into a meeting, I think it must have been October, end of October, November, and our ministers and the mayor sat down to talk about projects in Toronto, and I look at the list and I see Dunhouse Phase 2. And since that time, that our ministers came together and the mayor, Build Canada Homes with the respective teams got to work. And today we're here announcing a project that is going to be built faster because it will use modern methods of construction, is going to be a partnership that we wanted to emphasize, and we wanted to announce it on its own because it's a model of how we produce supportive housing. And when we go out and spend that $1 billion, the best impact that we can have is by replicating what was here before. So Minister Flack, we're going to be knocking at your door again because we have more projects in Ontario that we need more operating dollars for. And we are ready to come in with the capital money, and we need municipalities to come to the table and say, we're going to get it done. We're going to fast track it. We're going to get rid of the development charges. We're going to use modern methods of construction because we're going to be the pipeline to get this industry going, and we're going to be hand in hand working with Build Canada Homes. This is what Build Canada Homes is all about. It's about bringing the partners together. It's about leveraging what we all bring to the table best. It's about delivering homes faster, more economically, and at the end of the day, it's about people and it's about lives. Thank you, Jason, for being here today.
We would not be here if it were not for the imagination and the frontline work day to day in the boardroom at the policy level and with patients of Dr. Andrew Buzari. He's the founding executive director of the Gattuso Center for Social Medicine and the University Health Network, a leader in everything that is around us and connecting with people, everyone in this room. Thank you, Dr. Buzari, for your work. Please come on up and tell us more about the program.
Adjust microphones. It's just the most illustrious room I've been in with all of the dignitaries, so thank you. It's really an honor to be here today. I want to start with one of the biggest privileges of my life and my career has been helping create Dunhouse, but it's also working as a physician up the street here every week since Dunhouse opened its doors. I've met residents. I know that Jason is here, and it would be remiss not to acknowledge him, but I've met residents celebrating birthdays they thought they'd never reach. We've people who've been able to reconnect with family after many decades, palliative patients who now have a home and can pass in peace and dignity, and people who've been able to go back to school and earn their high school diplomas, people redefining what health and well-being means for them, and people who now lead recovery groups and serve as expert advisors to the mayor's office, Jason Miles. Their lived experience is shaping policy, and I see Opal, Renee, many leaders with lived experience who we've been so grateful to have inform our work, and that's why we're really here today. And before anything else, I want to acknowledge the leadership in this room, from government, healthcare, philanthropy, and community, who chose to act rather than look away. Outcomes like this don't happen by accident. I want to thank our federal partners, Minister Robertson. It was an honor to host you at Dunhouse. For many hours, we were promised maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes. We had 2 hours with the minister, which was, I know, a very special visit for everyone who was there. And CEO Anna Bailau for all of the work and commitment and belief in this model. And this is really, again, about advancing these evidence-based solutions that matter. And Parliamentary Secretary Bardeesy, thank you for your support of UHN social medicine and the Parkdale community. And thank you to Mayor Chow. I didn't realize that we grew up in the same building at 135 Rose Avenue. It has been feeling of fate to be doing this work, and amazing to see your leadership drive these issues around homelessness and the work around health. And to the city partners, I know, I won't say anything without disclosing, Valessa Faria is here, who's been instrumental to Dunhouse 1 and all of the work going forward. Mercedes Madani, Matt Hilder, Vic, and many others from the city team that have believed in this from the very beginning. It wouldn't have been possible at Valessa and Partners. And to Minister Flack and the province of Ontario. Your leadership has been foundational to see this work possible, and I'm so heartened by your comments to see even more supportive housing as a solution to homelessness today. This was never about a building. It was about confronting a profound reality. We've talked about the data before, 234 patients that made up over 15,000 emergency department visits. And the realities are that people who are experiencing homelessness are far sicker and they die younger. Decades of research show that homelessness shortens life expectancy by 30 to 40 years. That's why we really believe that this is the most powerful social determinant of health. If you imagine a drug or treatment that could restore 20 or 30 years of life, I think every funder, private sector, will be tripping over themselves. But this is really what we're seeing today, of all funders coming together to see this come to reach more people. And these are patients with advanced chronic disease, mental illness, and substance use disorders. They cycle through emergency departments because our care has failed and because we've discharged them back into instability. And if you don't have a home, you can't store medications, you can't recover from surgery, and you can't stabilize mental health. Housing is health. 7 years ago, we started talking about prescribing housing. At the time, it sounded ambitious, maybe even radical. And I want to pause to especially thank the UHN leadership, starting with Dr. Kevin Smith. Again, if this radical idea would have never happened without your belief, your masterful leadership on trying to help navigate many, many various obstacles, and unwavering support in many of these social medicine ideas that were new to UHN, new relatively to the country, and none of this would have happened without your leadership. I want to echo the commending our board. It's been really, again, the board's vision and belief to support this so early. Back in 2019, the MOU with the city and United Way with UHN was mentioned. And again, I'm forever grateful to the UHN board for supporting these risks with the rewards that we're seeing right in front of us. And I have to thank our senior team, Rebecca Ripa, who has helped shepherd so much with FM Pro and through all of the various machinations of seeing Dunhouse, and now looking forward to working even more closely with Dunhouse 2, Carrie Culver, Marnie Escaff, who has been now my closest colleague of time in terms of call me at 7 a.m. to say not to shout her out today, but I think really to ensure that her steadfast leadership and belief in the program has really been instrumental. And I completely echo Dr. Smith's comments about Mark Toppings. I can't count the hours that Mark has spent helping navigate this. As a legal officer, could have said this is outside our lane, but Mark's belief in this, again, from day one, wouldn't have been possible without the senior team. And I also want to shout out our entire social medicine team who's here, and especially the frontline workers, the community health workers. We talk a lot about prescribing housing. I can write the script for housing, but it's the community health workers that fill the script, that build the trust, that have had the trust, renew all of the accompaniment and navigation of a very fragmented system. And I'm deeply grateful to the community health workers who help lift up Dunhouse 1. And of course, Ms. Emmanuel Gattuso, who has been such a fierce champion and believer in social medicine from its very beginnings, pre-pandemic, and I think Kevin captured the story, but it just was complete alignment and simpatico from the day that we all met. And again, none of this in terms of having the embrace of social medicine, the constant belief through the pandemic and beyond that we were going to see more and more access for people. It has been a real privilege being able to work with you so closely and everything that you've done to advance this nationally. When Dunn House opened in 2024, it became Canada's first social medicine housing model, fully integrated into a hospital system designed specifically for people with the most complex medical and social needs. I remember walking this site when it was just a parking lot. I think few of us here remember what it was like, and today it's a home, and if people haven't had a chance to see it, you can walk down the street. It is now not only a home or 51 homes. What has been most moving for me is that it's really a community. The most powerful thing that I've seen here isn't the medical interventions, it's the way residents care for another. That's what dignity in motion looks like. And I want to thank our community partners, Fred Victor, Loft, the Neighborhood Group, Park, West Neighborhood House, Parkdale Queen West Community Health Center. This has been with Inner City Health Associates, not just a city, but a country of community partners and supports to make this possible every single day. And the outcomes are clear. Residents of Dunn House have seen a 52% reduction in emergency department visits and a 79% reduction in hospital bed days. That matters for people, it matters for a system. When a hospital bed costs over $50,000 a month, a jail cell costs over $14,000 a month, supportive housing is a fraction of that, while actually improving health. And this is more humane and it's more effective. With Dunn House 2, we're announcing homes for 50 more people, but particularly for seniors. Those of you who've been following this work have seen what I think one of our greatest failures of society, older adults and seniors having to pour into shelters and emergency departments with nowhere else to go. And again, I think this re-engages our commitment to the most marginalized patients that we care for at UHN. I'll close where I began. Walking out of the clinic at Dunn House, a tenant said something to me that stopped me in my tracks just last week. He told me very plainly, if Dunn House hadn't existed, he feared that his family would have buried him by now. Instead, he's alive. His illness is under control. He's reconnected with his children. He has a dog named Max, who's the most popular puppy, I think, in South Parkdale, and a home. Every day of inaction, it carries a real human cost, but today is proof that we can break that cycle through approaches that are humane, effective, and grounded in evidence. It's the honor of my lifetime to do this work with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Buzari. Thank you to all of you for joining this celebration. We're now going to invite all the speakers to come back up for a photo. And then we are going to, René Leblanc-Proctor is going to manage a question and answer period. Are we moving the minister?
Okay. We're just...
This is, yeah. You know, wait.
You don't want to be behind this, though.
It's okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to put my leg behind you. Mayor Chow.
Oh,
It's
yes,
not
yes,
me making a
yes,
move.
yes.
Just try not to trip.
Yeah, do not do that.
We're good. Thank you.
All right.
If I can just ask folks to stay on stage for the media press conference.
No,
Okay, folks, we're going to be opening up to media. If I can just have Anna and Dr. Buzari stay on stage. Thank you. We're going to be opening up to media. We have about 10 minutes for questions, so I'm just going to ask each journalist to come up to the mic, state your name, your outlet, and who your question is directed to. On va commencer notre conférence de presse avec les questions des médias. On va juste demander aux médias de dire leur nom, leur outlet, puis à qui ils directent la question. OK.
Hi, I'm Marion Birubé from Radio-Canada. My question, in fact, is for Minister Robertson and Mayor Chow. I just want to come back on the $10 million that was withheld from the federal regarding the construction of sixplex everywhere in the city of Toronto. So just, Mayor Chow, is this in the plans to allow the construction for all the neighborhoods? Is it in the plans for the next months? And Minister Robertson, is this money away forever, or if the city decided to allow it on all the territory, would it change your mind and you can give the money back? And if you could answer in French as well, I don't know if you're comfortable enough. No, it's okay. It can be in English. But Mayor Chow first, and then maybe Mr. Robertson.
What first? Who's first?
Mayor Chow first, and then Mr. Robertson.
Okay. My French is not very good. There's no doubt about that. We want to build housing faster, which is the purpose of the Housing Accelerator Funds. And because of the Housing Accelerator Funds and the provincial contribution and the city putting in hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, we are seeing 28,000 units of housing shuffle in the ground this year. We are building them. 10,000 of them are going to be affordable. Yes, we have sped up the rezoning, that 90% of the city have gone through rezoning changes. What does that mean? It means that we're cutting red tape and make it a lot easier for people to build. Okay, multi-res and any number of types of built forms. And we also have cut the development charges of multi-res, sixplexes, all of it, because financially we need to make it possible. In terms of the some of the councillors of the City of Toronto, because I believe in democracy, they did not vote and they don't want it in their area, so we are in one very small aspect of it, have not completely, I think there are 35 milestones or something like that. So which is why we've lost 2% of the entire $471 million of the Housing Accelerator Funds. But we will continue to build housing and continue to make it more affordable, faster, and removed all the red tapes and barriers for people to build.
Yeah, merci pour la question. So, as Mayor Chow said, the goal for the Housing Accelerator Fund is to build a lot more affordable housing across Canada. We have agreements with 241 communities, from the City of Toronto to many smaller towns, and we have over 750,000 homes are now being accelerated and built because of the Housing Accelerator, which is fantastic. Toronto has delivered on almost all of their commitments. Each community makes their own commitments, and we enshrine those in agreements. So we review the agreements and make sure communities are meeting their commitments. There are some minor adjustments in Toronto's case and with some other communities. The overall investment does not change across Canada, but some of the money that may come away from some communities is reallocated to others that are moving even faster and rewarding them for delivering even more than they committed to. So I think our partnership is very strong between Canada and Toronto. This Housing Accelerator is one component of that, and $471 million of investment to work together, accelerating more housing. We have lots of other projects like Dunn House and many other opportunities to work together to get more affordable housing built. And very strong partnership is at the core of our work. Thank you.
Hi, Barbara with QP Briefing. My question is for Minister Flack. So last year the government announced inclusionary zoning measures, and then recently you paused this initiative saying that it could perhaps add unnecessary red tape to construction. But that doesn't seem to be the case some months ago, so I'm just trying to understand what is it that changed from November to now to cause this pause, and also how long are you planning, do you have an estimate perhaps of how long are you planning to keep this pause in place?
Thank you, Barbara. Good question. It's currently on the environmental registry up for review. So let's be blunt. We are in a housing crisis. We're not getting a lot built. We're looking at all avenues to get shovels in the ground faster. And it's great to have inclusionary zoning, but if people aren't going to build, it still doesn't provide enough affordable housing. So we're taking it out to the market, listening to what people have to say, listening to the Mayor of Toronto, listening to the City of Toronto, and doing our very best to get shovels in the ground faster. So we're taking an advisory stance right now, listening and learning, and stay tuned. We got more things coming in the spring legislation to help accelerate getting more homes built. Thank you.
Hi, Victoria Gibson, Toronto Star. My question's for Minister Flack as well. So the City of Toronto recently put out budget documents that said it's forecasting significantly fewer new households that can be supported through the Canada-Ontario Housing Benefit this year. Do you think those forecasts are accurate according to your government's plans, and are you concerned about that continuing to add strain on shelters and street homelessness at the time that these projects are being announced?
So I'd answer it this way. I just came out of the Roma conference, as I said earlier. The one thing, and I think Minister Robertson and Mayor Chow will agree, is that we need to take a look at all the dollars, provincially, federally, municipally, that we're investing in supportive housing. Everything is on the table. And what I would suggest, as I will now be co-chairing the federal, provincial, territorial housing summit or conferences in the next couple of years, Gregor and I think, are going to put our shoulder to the wheel, and we're going to take a look at how we're investing the dollars we are today. In Ontario, it's $1.7 billion. Throughout the country, I'm not sure, Gregor, what it is, but it's many, many billions. Are we investing it wisely? Can we do a better job? Do we need more? Where does it need to go? As I promised our municipal partners, we need to recalibrate and take a look where we can get the best effect. Today is a perfect example of how something works and works well. So we're going to take a look at a model like today and others and recalibrate that look, and recalibrate those investments and see where they need to be. And I think you would agree, Minister, that that's exactly what we're going to do, and I think we meet in the next couple of weeks. Thank you.
Hi there, Alan Carter from City News. I have a question and a quick follow-up as well. I'm quoting from Minister Robertson's letter to Toronto announcing the scaling back of funding for $10 million in the Accelerator Fund, and the quote is, these are unwarranted restrictions on missing middle housing. Let's start with your reaction to calling it unwarranted restrictions, Mayor, and then the Minister, please.
Want me to start first? Yeah. You can build sixplexes all across the City of Toronto, on avenues, a major street, and in 6 wards inside residential areas. So there's ample opportunities for people to build laneway houses, multiplexes, sixplexes, any number of plexes, and to make it easier for people to build and financially more beneficial. We said that if you're building them, we will not charge you development charges, because that is the #1 barrier. Right now is not zoning. There are 300,000 units of housing already zoned, ready to go, but people are not penciling because of the financial difficulties that they are facing, or that they're not selling their condo units. So it's complex. We will do what we can to remove as many barriers, financial, zonings, as we can.
Minister, are these unwarranted restrictions?
Thanks for the question. The overall goal of the Housing Accelerator Fund is to get more affordable housing built across Canada. And we're doing that with 241 communities through agreements that were signed with commitments. So as the Government of Canada, we want to be sure that everyone's following through on their commitments. And the challenge is deciding the scale by which any community might deviate from what they committed to. But we want to make sure the integrity of those agreements, every agreement that the Government of Canada signs, we have to be looking at the integrity of the agreement, making sure people are delivering that. And these are minor adjustments when some of the communities don't meet all of their commitments. But overall, the partnership is incredibly strong. Toronto is delivering lots of affordable housing. I think they'll exceed their goal in the Housing Accelerator Fund commitments to build housing, which is fantastic. That's why they have 98% of their overall budget in the Housing Accelerator funding.
While I have you here, I apologize. One quick one, which is your reaction to Doug Ford's announcement of a pause in affordable housing requirements in transit areas. Minister.
5%.
You speaking about the matter that Minister Flack was talking about, the inclusionary zoning piece?
Is that, yeah, my apologies.
Yeah, so Ontario's got to make their decisions around the housing crisis and this big slowdown in housing construction that they're facing here in the province. I think we see different approaches and solutions across the country, and we've got to do everything we can to speed up construction, to deliver more affordable housing. That's the bottom line here across the country, especially non-market housing, supportive housing for people who need it the most. And I think at this point, we have to be creative, we have to be innovative, we have to be courageous in making changes that get more housing built as soon as possible. That's the goal I think we're all up here working in partnership to deliver. Thank you.
Thank you, and that concludes today's press conference.